The Bicycle Elegance playing card says Bicycle Elegance playing cards on the front of the tuck box, done with a gorgeous Ace of Spades pip right here that does have some debossing where all of the gold leafing is. And then you do have the same debossing up here where it says Bicycle done in all gold foil. One side says Elegance, and the other side says Cambric Finish, the United States Playing Card Company. The bottom has some ad copy, and the back is the back design. The top says Elegance with a little bit more embossing. The inner tuck flap has a little bit more ad copy, and the inside tuck flaps both have a little bit more artwork. And the whole inside of the tuck box has more artwork inside as well, done entirely in red. But that's all I can say for this beautiful tuck box, so let's take a look at the cards. Now for such an elegant tuck box, I was truly disappointed when I saw this back design. Now you do have a more faded yellowish tan, almost even a green as the back design. You have some orange spots and a pretty thick border going around the outside. It does have an elegant design to it, but the color choices were, truth be told, quite awful. And the same goes for the faces. Again, extremely elegant designs for both the pip shapes, the number shapes, and all of the artwork done around the outside. That way you can have this white border, but at the same time, this is going to be all the way through elegant, cool aces, cool hearts. Everything is going to be all the way through, extremely beautiful. But the color choices, I'm just not a fan of. But I was a fan of the court cards because they took what they did with the rest of this deck and what they did with the Bicycle Standards and turned them into cartoons. So after all of this deck, I was truly a fan because I've never seen something quite like this where they almost made caricatures out of these court cards. And somehow they still ended up being quite elegant and quite beautiful. And I'm not sure how they did it. Your three aces have all been enlarged, and I really love this heart pip. For your ad cards, you get one blank card, and for the first time, it's not a fully blank card when they have some type of back design on it, so I truly do appreciate that. And an ad card. Your jokers, you get one joker, which is simply a joker, and the other one, which will have a 3 of hearts reveal. And last but not least, your Ace of Spades. So now that you know how it looks, you will probably want to know if this deck can Pharaoh Shuffle, and from top to bottom, it does Pharaoh Shuffle every other. Although, truth be told, I didn't feel like it was going to be the easiest one to Pharaoh Shuffle. And then from bottom to top, this deck can Pharaoh Shuffle every other as well. And that one was much, much easier. The next thing you want to know is how this deck is going to feel in your hands because it does hit a few extremes. Now, although it says cambric finish on the box, it actually just means air cushion finish because there's only air cushion finish and smooth finish. This one does have air pockets in it and it does handle extremely well when it comes to fanning, so don't have any worries about that. The next two things are how it actually is going to feel and how thick it is. So let's start with how thick it is just because of how extreme it's going to be. So when it comes to how thick it is going to be extremely thick. This is on a B stock, a premium stock, casino stock. There's many different names for it, but it's only two types of paper when it comes to United States Playing Cards Company. There's the classic stock and the B stock or premium, or whichever one you decide to go with. So this one's going to be on the thicker paper, and then after that is going to be extremely stiff. Truth be told, there are even thicker decks that are on B stocks that truly are still extremely buttery. Like if you're looking at either the Slow Hands decks or any decks by Organic Playing Cards and many others, this is just going to be a deck that does not like any of those. This one is extremely stiff. If you're trying to do something like Under Pressure, you're going to pretty much break your hands. It's just not feeling very good at all. And then when you try to do something like Card Spring, you're going to end up with a cramp. So truth be told, if you're trying to use this in any kind of sense like that for more practical purposes, this isn't going to be your deck. But depending on what kind of person you are, you actually might want to get this deck. So let's start with Magicians. I'm a Magician myself, that's the main thing that I do, and I'm probably not going to use this deck. It does have a few things like the 3 of Hearts Reveal and the blank card, which are things that I would definitely use in a practical sense, but at the same time, I'm not a fan of the way this back design looks. The borders are way too thick for me, and when it comes to the faces, there's overly customized to where I don't think the spectators would be able to recognize it like that. When it comes to cardistry, it is so stupid stiff that I wouldn't be using it for cardistry in any sense unless you're only using it for packet cuts. But it also doesn't have a design that would suit itself for cardistry, pun intended, so I wouldn't be using it for that either. Next is collecting. I definitely think you can collect this deck, although probably I wouldn't if I were to go back and do it all over again. Truth be told, at the very beginning, I just saw this tuck box, I'm like, that is a absolutely gorgeous tuck box, and when I see Elegance, I love to dress up in suits all the time, so I'm like, I could take this one to wedding venues when I'm performing there, or different things like that, or different parties, and I'm just like, this would be a really cool deck to collect. And then I get it, and now it's just, it's just an ugly back design. It just is what it is. I'm not a fan of the back design, or really most of the faces excluding the court cards. So when it comes to that, that's probably not going to be a deck that I collect, and I'm not keeping it on my shelf of my top 100. So on top of all of that, it's going to go from now not collecting it, not being a cardistry deck, not being for magicians. Can you play card games with it? I mean, you can. It's not a really expensive deck. I think it was like $6. And if you're looking at them like this and going through trying to play a card game, you're going to be able to see exactly what they are. Although the suits are going to be a little bit weird, but I don't think it would take you too much time to look at that. And since it's so cheap, you can get multiple decks of this and not be really that worried if your friends are going to bend the cards or whatever. And since they're so stiff, they could bend them and it might break their hand before they get to it. And lastly, is this a hype deck? Heck no. But if you ever want honest opinions on playing card reviews just like this, make sure to let me know what deck of playing cards you want me to review next. So just leave that down in the comments below. And you can check out my deck review playlist right up there and check out another video right here. Please make sure to subscribe if you do enjoy these types of videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.